welcome back to 24 Outdoors. Today we're going to be sizing up this Husqvarna 385xp onto this 24-inch Granberg Alaskan Chainsaw Mill. Come along with me, I'd love to show you how to do it. Alright guys, so like I said, we're going to be sizing up this Husqvarna 385xp with the Granberg Alaskan Chainsaw Mill, the 24-inch mill. And there's a few things that we got to do. We're going to tear apart the saw. We're going to just make sure everything's working properly, clean it up, lube it up, do our maintenance on our saw right now so that way whenever we go to use it, everything works like it should. We're going to gather up our tools here, get everything laid out that we're going to need because we're going to do a bar change and a chain change. So we're going to put a little bit bigger bar on. Now we're running the 24-inch Granberg titanium. We're going to switch over to a different bar here. That's going to give us a little bit more working room on that Alaskan Chainsaw Mill. Okay, so we have everything laid out that we're going to need. We have the scrunch. If you have the scrunch, there is nothing here that you need. These items over here are kind of moot. So, but I'm laying them out so you guys can see them, and I'm actually going to use some of these as well because it's a little bit easier for me. But if you have this, you can eliminate that. So a typical scrunch has a flat head on the bottom. We have a 1/2 inch on one side and a 3/4 inch on the other side. And we'll go over what that's going to be for here in just a moment. So you can accomplish the same thing with a 3/4 deep socket, a regular 1/2 inch. It doesn't matter really what size of extension you use. This is just the one that I typically use for my application. Your wrench and a screwdriver, flathead. Bonus points is if you can flip it over and get a Phillips head on it as well. We're going to be using eye protection, gloves if you want to use them, and obviously some paper towels to help clean some messes. I always like to keep a marker as well if we're going to sharpen chains today. I'll have a marker to mark the length that I started with. So come along, let's get started. Alright, so before we get started, whenever I'm doing stuff like this, I like to relax. This is my form of meditation. This is how I get away from everything and just clear my mind. So just because you guys are with me doesn't mean I'm going to change anything that I do, and that's going to include bourbon. So today I think we're going to go with the rocks glass, and I've been really in love with the TX whiskey ever since I tried it probably 4 or 5 years ago. It's a great blend of whiskey out of the Firestone and Robertson distillery in Dallas, Texas. Actually, I think it's in Fort Worth. But if you get the chance to try it, don't pass it up. It's worth every last drop. So we'll get a couple fingers poured there, and let's go over and work on a chainsaw. All right, so let's bring it in. So I put the air filter back on. I put the spark plug back in, and honestly, the spark plug's still loose. You don't really have to do a whole lot with the spark plug. Here's the time where you want to put eye protection on, if you want to use hearing protection as well, because this will get loud. I'm just going to shut my air compressor off so that's not running, because I think we have more than enough compressed air to make this happen. So we'll just get in there as much as we can and get pretty much all of that dust out that we can. Anything that you can get out of your chainsaw is going to be better. It's going to work a little bit better. Alright, so now that that's off, let's pop the top off here, and we'll blow this out as well. So we can see, it still looks like there's a little gunk and stuff in and around here, and we don't want to blow that into the air filter, but we're going to blow everything out. Now here we're going to take another clean paper towel, because I still see some stuff here in the saw that we really shouldn't have in and around here. I'll bring you in real quick and you can see that. You can see we still have a bunch of gunk and stuff there, and we want to get that out as good as possible. So we're just going to stick a clean paper towel in right there so that we don't get any dust in there. And we're going to blow it out. Alright, so compressed air is the, I'd say, best way to get dust out. So for this, we're just going to give it a little bit of love and blow from the inside out, and it's going to blow all that dust off. At least it should. All right, we're clean. Now let's put everything back together here. So you can see it lines up. Just it's hard to mess up. You can only put it on one way. Once it's on, we just tighten it down. You do not, I can't stress this enough, you do not need to tighten this any more than 2-finger tight. If you tighten it any more than that, like you use your scrunch or screwdriver, get in there and turn it on, you're doing too much. So I can go ahead and tighten this down. Whenever you're tightening down a spark plug, this is all cast. So just be very careful tightening these down. They don't need to be cranked down super tight. If you do, you have a likelihood of stripping the threads out of the inside of the top of the head. So if you do that, it's kind of a pain in the butt. It can be fixed, but again, it's a pain in the butt and it's going to cost you some money. So we're just going to, like maybe 1/8 of a turn there, we're going to pop that back on. The inside cover looks pretty clean. We'll get that back on, button it up, and look at the bottom here. Make sure everything's still intact. Grab your flashlight, look around. We can look into the impellers here. For starting it, we can blow that out a little bit too. Down across the bottom here, we can blow out. You just pretty much want to clean anything that you can on your saw. The better maintenance you have on it, the longer it's going to last. It's just, I mean, that's the same with anything. Your vehicles, you know, your side-by-side, your four-wheelers, your tools. Just try to take care of them, and they'll last you a lifetime. So the bar, we're not going to mess with this bar. Push that bar out of the way because we're going to be putting on a little bit bigger bar today. We're going to be putting on the Oregon 32-inch. Now, I said it was important to have the converters from Stihl to Husqvarna. The Oregon bars, I will tell you, if you buy a Stihl bar for a Husqvarna and the Oregon power cut, you are going to run into a problem here. Let's bring you in and show you that problem. So your problem is going to lie right here. This ends from the factory about right here. So imagine this isn't here. So with it ending there, there's not enough room to get the chain on because there's not enough adjustment. So what you can do is do your research first, buy the right bar. That's like the easiest thing to do because you're already paying $80, $90, $100 for these bars. Make sure you get the right one. I didn't, and I didn't want to send it back. So I just took a drill bit the same size as the hole that's already here, and I drilled 2 holes, and then I, with just a bastard file, I filed it down to where this piece here will slide into there. So it's not rocket science. If you screw something up, it can be fixed typically. So there's no sense in getting worked up about it. Just keep moving on. So why don't we get this thing set on, and we'll work on getting it on the Alaskan Chainsaw Mill. So put this on first, and we'll push it all the way back to where it's almost touching the sprocket there. And we will take our chain, and whenever you put your chain on, you're going to go pointy end forward because it rotates like this and you want it to grab the wood. And I got my chain twisted here because, you know, chains now, I guess. Okay, sorry about that. I twisted my chain. God, it's a pain in the butt. Alright, so we're going to throw it on the sprocket first, the drive sprocket, and we'll just lace it the whole way down the bar to the front sprocket. We'll go around, and we're done. We can wiggle the bar forward slightly and get everything seated nicely. Make sure your spacer's pushed all the way in. And we're ready to put the cover back on. So we'll get the we'll get the holes lined up. Now, in here, this may not line up. This is your tensioner screw that you run from the outside. It may not line up with your tensioner holes on your bar, which is fine. It's no big deal, and we can get it to fit just fine. But if you notice that you can't get this on, chances are that's what's going to be causing it. So in this case, I need to back it off about, oh geez, half an inch here, because chains, they move around, and it's no big deal. It just backs up and it'll pop right in, just like so. We'll put our 1/2 inch nuts back on, our studs, and here we will screw them down a little bit. We don't want them super tight right now because we've got to adjust this chain. So we'll just kind of get them on there, right? Like I said, we don't want to screw it down too tight so that we can adjust this chain easily. And we're just going to pull it tight here. Make sure it seats. And so the rule of thumb with tightening a chainsaw chain is whenever you pull on it, you want to be able to show three teeth, 3 drive links easily. So if you pull up and you can see light under 3 drive links easily, that's the proper tightness. If you tighten it too much, you run into problems with wearing your bar out faster. You'll create a burr on your bar that's unsavory for the chain. So we'll get this tightened down. We'll check it again to make sure the tightness is correct. Because for some reason, and I don't know what the reasoning is behind it, but it seems like every time you tighten down your nuts onto your studs, the chain gets tighter. I don't know. It's one of life's great mysteries, but it actually seems like it didn't do too bad this time. So we're going to turn our brake off, and we're just going to run it a few times here. And it actually did seem like it tightened it a little bit, and I'm not too happy with that. I can hear it winding a little bit, so maybe not. Okay, so that's on. We're all good. We're about ready to get it linked up with the Alaskan Chainsaw Mill.
Are you ready?
Bit more than what I expected it to be. I'm not gonna lie. I run you through what I ran into here. First of all, this doesn't like to slide through that fitting very well. So all I did was I unscrewed both of them, popped them off, and it just goes to the other side. So I just left it attached. The next thing I ran into is the piece here, the inside piece, or the locking piece here, this little thingamajig here, the clamp, actually has to slide over. So I had to mess with that a couple of times, as you saw. That's on. I got everything sized up. The whole thing moved down. So let's check what our cut is now. And we gained an entire inch. 1 exact inch. Now, that's all I can get. I can't get any more. Because these are slid out the whole way. These are slid out the whole way. I'm up against the dogs now on this side, so I'm at my limit on this. So this is a 23-inch setup and not a 24. As you can see down here on the end, I actually have a little bit more room here, which I'm fine with. I'm not on that sprocket on the front, so I'm happy with that. I'm still back, so I didn't compromise my sprocket at all. So it should run just fine. We'll just grab our scrunch here, and we'll just move the chain to make sure we're still free flowing here, which we are. And now we have set up to cut a maximum, I suppose, of a 23-inch log straight across. So that's how you do that. Guys, I know this was a little bit different video from what you're used to with me, but you know, it's just another tool to have in your tool belt. We are 24 outdoors, and as far as I'm concerned, chainsaws is kind of the outdoors. So I hope you guys really enjoyed seeing that. If there's any questions you guys have, I am obviously still learning all this, but I can take it apart, put it back together, measure stuff, get you any information that you may want or need, and we'll see what we can figure out. This here might be featured on a future video soon. This is a French cleat box that holds 3 containers of gas, 1 container of bar oil. I have a sharpening kit, and my scrunch sits right in there. And I can carry it around into the woods and whatnot. It's waterproof bottom, and yeah, it just hangs on the French cleat wall over here with my chainsaw stuff. So if this is something that you're interested in seeing me build, I can always build another one of these. And yeah, you guys are interested in that. I don't know if you are or not. Not really sure where to go, honestly, with the channel. We got the hunting aspect. And I just like to keep up with the outdoors here. So if this is something you're interested in, let me know. Let me know ideas for future videos up here. I plan on working up here a little bit in the workshop. I'm starting to slightly get into, and I say slightly because it's such a vast topic to get into, but woodworking, I'm taking my time with it, and I'm trying to acquire the tools that I need at a slow pace because they're expensive, and just kind of do odds and ends projects here and there. So we're working on that and trying to learn. That's why all this lumber's back there for making a step stool. So yeah, if you guys are interested in any of this, hit the like, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on your notifications, because hopefully here in the near future we'll be putting out some more videos. Guys, until I get to talk to you guys again, I hope you have a wonderful day or night, depending on when you're watching it, and I'll keep you in my prayers if you keep me in yours.